Make a warm welcome for your host, and you will see this gentleman. We don't want to tell you everything that he's done. You will see this gentleman, Philly's funniest 2021. Give it up for your host, DJ Lowell. Hello there, boys and girls. That's DJ Lowell. One thing just to remind everybody, that it don't matter if you're vaccinated. It don't matter what the situation are. The CDC guidelines still says, wash your hands, wear a mask. This man is brought to you by Israeli Krav Maga. We featured him in this particular episode. Wash your hands, wear a mask, social distance. Don't go out if you don't need to. 6 feet apart. And having said something else, I just want to throw this out there. Apparently, Rutgers University is now going to be requesting people to get vaccination to go to the school. Guess what? If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't go to Rutgers. Don't make a big deal about it. If you want to go to Rutgers, they want to make sure that people aren't dying. Take the vaccination. Very simple. You don't want to do it. You want to be a nobody. That's your choice. That's your freedom. We live in a country. It's great. But if you want to make sure that people go back to work and put food on their table and have a good, productive life, do the simple little things that the CDC guidelines are asking you to do. All right, let's get right to it. Black first. We got 2 of them. Black first, number 1. George Edwin Taylor, between 2Perms, DJ Lowell. The first black to run for president of the United States in a minority party ticket was George Edwin Taylor in 1904. He represented the National Liberal Party. Everyone thinks it's Jesse Jackson. Everyone thinks it's Condoleezza Rice. Everyone thinks it might be Carol Moseley Braun. Carol Moseley Braun ran for president. She was the great. She was a senator. We do one take. She was a senator from the great state of Illinois. I met her a couple of years ago. She goes to church with my mother, and she was in the election in 2008. I believe she was a black female. She was the only black senator I think she was the first female black senator. But she ran for president. People think that she was the first one to run for president. But so that's why we try to give you guys the black first so you understand your history. But another black first, this is an event, was in 1831, the first slave revolt. This was fascinating. In Southampton Country, Virginia, on August 21st and 22nd, 1831, Nat Turner, I don't think it's Nat King Cole, Nat Turner, whatever it is, from 1800 to 1831, Nat Turner, minister and slave, Ledwell has been recognized as the first slave revolt of magnitude. The revolt was crushed, but only after Turner and his band had killed some 60 whites. Now, see, we don't advocate killing anybody, but if you're a slave, you got to. I mean, if Kanye says slavery is a choice, I guess the choice they took was we don't kill our masters. Okay, slavery's not a choice, but it is. Sometimes people stuck up for themselves and said they're not going to put up with it. But we don't advocate that here between 2Perms. Turner and his band had killed some 60 whites and threw the South into panic. 30 other blacks were also implicated and executed. See, obviously they killed someone, it's kill or be killed, and there's repercussions for that. Turner styled himself as a Baptist preacher and in 1825 held the first praise meetings. He also identified slave and free blacks who would attend his sessions and prepare what he called the great mission that God envisioned for them. On the night of August 21st, imagine being a slave and doing God's work when some people suggest that God wants slaves. I think that's a conflict of interest. I don't know. I'm just saying. It does say in the Bible, in the New Testament, in the Old Testament rather, that every slave should like respect, trust, love his master. But that's that Old Testament. We want that new money. God, the mission that God had envisioned for them. On the night of August 21st, Turner and his insurrectionists. Ooh, that's what we learned in the couple of the episodes before this. Insurrectionists moved swiftly in a surprise attack on plantations in the Southampton countryside. I wonder if that's where the girl from The Bachelor, if that's where she was having her parties at. I'm just trying to put it all together circumspect. After he lost his tactical advantage, Turner grew concerned for his own survival and hid underground for 6 weeks. Sometimes you gotta hide. He was captured on October 30th. He offered no testimony in court, nor did he allow defense on his behalf. He later hanged in Jerusalem, Virginia, on November 11th. So that's a black first for you. The word of the day is, excuse me, it's been a long week, but the show must go on. Still rocking with Dr. Seuss. Word of the day is deleterious. Listen, I'm learning just like you're learning. We do these one take. Deleterious. Looks like it's deleterious, which means harmful. Smoking cigarettes is deleterious to your health. So is brushing your teeth with oven cleaner or washing your hair with gasoline. I mean, I don't know who these people come up with this stuff, but it's in the book. I'm not making this up, okay? This is called Word Smart, for Princeton Review. Washing your hair with gasoline. This is great. It's why I use this one. Is watching Family Feud deleterious? Of course not. Deleterious. Word of the day is brought to you by the Roy Smith Law Firm. The choice is Royce. The choice is Royce. If you break your arm on the job, Royce will break the bank of the company you work for. He didn't endorse that. He didn't endorse that motto, but I think it's dope. The choice is Royce. I think that's great. The choice is Royce. Our inspirational quote is, how great would life be if we lived a little of it every day? And you know something? Right now we're going to see. We'll do this. Right now, today's episode is a special episode. We feature a local business every episode, and we did Israeli Krav Maga. I think it was episode 2. We featured them, and my mom was upset because she couldn't hear the audience or the guest. So she bought me a microphone. Mama Dukes loves me. So we have new technology. So check out this episode, hearing everything. It's a more extended episode. We're going to be coming up with a clip show where it's going to be a show just like Seinfeld, where we're just showing clips of, businesses that we've featured throughout. And we've got a couple more businesses lined up. We want to tell you guys again about the promotion that we're running. If you like, subscribe, comment, and share. That's the minimum requirement. One episode. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Not every episode, just one episode. Do it. You get your name thrown in a raffle. First 100 people that do that are going to be entered into the contest. That gets you one raffle ticket. Now, the prize for the raffle is $100 first place, $75 second place, $50 third place, $25 fourth place. You do all those things, you get one raffle ticket. But wait, there's more. If you go to any one of the local businesses, you check in, you tell them DJ Lowell sent you, you get an additional 10 raffle tickets. So if you go to the Israeli Krav Maga, you can get the free, you get the first training session free. If you go to the Roy Smith Law Firm, that's a little bit different. If you have a case, I'm not saying go out and break your ankle and just go to Royce. I'm saying, but if you go to the Roy Smith Law Firm, if you go to 1518, if you go to Haggerty's, if you go to the Bagel Place, if you go to Mifflin Street Cuts, if you go to any one of those guys, and we featured them already, you're gonna get 10 additional tickets. We have more businesses that I don't know what this is. Our producer's like this. Okay, I understand that now. Okay, I was like, is there something on my hair? I don't know. Listen, I'm going off rip. I should write these things down. Big Perm, see, between 2Perms, well, there's going to be other business that we're going to feature before we're done. We are going to, we have a security firm that we're promoting. Oh, if you go and you frequent Range, he's artist development. We're going to talk to Lom, Robert Klein. There's a bunch of things that we have coming up. So, if you go to Michael's, Michael's Bar, we're down bartending. You go there. You just go in there and say DJ Lowell sent you. And if you take a picture of you in there, screenshot it, date stamp it, and then you do all those things and you accomplish them, and you just simply send us an email from funnytofamous@gmail. Said, hey, I did X, Y, and Z, and I want to be involved in the raffle. If we don't get 100 people, I think I had like 3 views the last episode. So, and my mom and Matt Struck from the Really Late Show with Matt Struck, they liked it, so they're in the raffle, okay? And the money is already paid for. This is sponsored by the Roy Smith Law Firm, so might as well take care of it. We did our quote, how great would it be to live, how great would life be if we lived a little every day? I always tell you guys, life is short. Live life to the fullest. The people that you love, tell them that you love them. Tomorrow is promised to no one. Learn. I'm always told that if you're done learning, you're pretty much done. And one comedian that's getting really, really pumped for going to Philly's Funniest 2021, live, love, learn, laugh. Between 2Perms. Holla. One take. DJ One Take. DJ Lowell here. We just finished shooting another commercial for Israeli Krav Maga. Just want to give you guys a little tour around the place. You got your training for weapons, nice space. Definitely, it'll be COVID compliant. Everyone was wearing face masks. Everyone was being cognizant of, the situation. But more importantly, as they're protecting themselves from COVID, you want to protect yourself from a thug. So that's more important, in my opinion. Cool setup, warming up and all these things. So check out the episode. It's like an overtime episode. We did probably a good 35, 40 minutes just talking about Krav and what you can get from the experience. Got these guys over here. It's pretty cool stuff, to be honest with you. Need one of those. I'm triggered because the cops have those. So, put that back before I get in trouble. All right, so check out the episode. And we're coming up on the final of our season, so we will be doing our raffle prize pretty soon. And there they are. Dr. Seuss, Live, Love, Learn, Laugh. DJ Lowell here. We're doing another follow-up episode of one of the local businesses that we featured. You guys may have seen this in episode 2, but we're doing some follow-up because it's what we call perpetual learning. So here we are at Israeli Krav Maga in Cherry Hill, and we've got our instructor here. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Don Melnick. I'm the owner and instructor here at Israeli Krav Maga in Cherry Hill.
And how long have you been doing Israeli Krav Maga? What got you into it? Were you young and one day? Were you young and one day you got beat up or something?
No, my story is a little less exciting. I got into Krav Maga because I was bored on a Sunday. That's a legit answer.
Well, alrighty. So today is Sunday, and I happen to be bored, so we took the class. So being bored on a Sunday takes it to a whole other trajectory, and you went online, you found out about Krav, you Googled something?
Yep, so I got an email from the local JCC down the road here in Cherry Hill. It said, Krav Maga seminar 2 to 4 on Sunday. This is about 13 years ago. And I really didn't know what Krav Maga was. I asked my wife, I said, what are we doing on Sunday? She said, nothing. Why? I want to do this Krav Maga stuff. I didn't know how to say it properly. I just knew it's kind of interesting. And she said, well, what's that? I said, I don't know. It's like this Israeli Jewish karate stuff. So she's like, all right, have fun. Don't get hurt.
So I guess a follow-up question there would be, you don't have to be Israeli to take Krav Maga.
No. Actually, the large percentage of our student base here is not Israeli, not Jewish. It's not a religious or a cultural thing. It's just a self-defense thing that works. So I ended up going to this seminar. 13 years ago, and walk in the room. There was 3 other guys there. They were all way older than me, and I thought, this is going to suck. And the instructor comes in, puts us through 2 hours of history, practicality, ease of use, weapons defenses, what Krav Maga is all about, how it protects you, how it saves your life. And I thought this was really cool. It was something I'd never experienced before. I hadn't done any research on it. I just was blown away by the practical nature of it. You weren't wearing funny pajamas on a soft, cushy mat, barefoot. It was just how do I get from point A to point B safely? And that's what really appealed to me. So the instructor invited me up to a school that we have up in Hamilton, New Jersey. And I went up for a free trial class, went back the next night, got signed up. A year and a half later, I was getting certified as an instructor and then taught my own program at the JCC, and we had about 30 people. So we went, in a year and a half, went from 4 people to 30 people interested in this at the JCC. And that interest led to being able to open up the school here in Cherry Hill.
Do you think, have you ever had any other training of any other type of martial arts?
Prior to Krav, no. I mean, at summer camp, maybe a little karate as an elective, horse dance, kia, make the noise when you're a little kid. Nothing formal, nothing like that. I'm doing a little bit, I'm doing some other stuff right now that's very complementary to Krav. Krav is a hybrid of a lot of other systems, so it's good to understand what these systems are, to see where the source material pulls from.
I guess the reason I asked that question is just so anyone would know, comparatively speaking. Let's say if you were taking, like I wrestled in high school, and I figured it didn't take long to learn the moves and to become good at it, if you will.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you where you thought, I mean, obviously you're an instructor, but is there levels like black belt, next belt?
Yeah, so there is a belting system here. The belting system is optional. It's not the focus of the training. It takes a long time to go through the system. The first belt level is a minimum of 9 months of training before you get to the first belt level. But the focus isn't on the belts. You see material from all belt levels when you come in here. Your first day, you could be doing basic yellow belt foundation elements, or you're doing advanced black belt weapons defenses. It doesn't matter because the bad guys don't care. I'm not training to get into a ring or do a tournament or competition with somebody of my own skill set, somebody I'm watching game tape on and film and know how they move and how they react and what to look for, having coaches in the background yelling out instructions to me. It's me walking down the street, and I have to defend against an unknown attacker and an unknown threat. It could be empty-handed, it could be weapons, it could be multiple attackers, it could be a gamut of things. And I need to be prepared. So when you walk in here for your first day, you're going to learn everything. There's some more advanced things that you have to understand the foundation elements of, but we don't hide stuff from people. You get to see this stuff any class.
Wait, can you tell them how awesome I was my first day?
Yeah, he did great today. He came in, we were doing some intermediate level stuff, and he's still here. He's alive to talk about it.
See, this is one guy who can actually lie on camera, okay? I mean, it was a little difficult, but I thought I got
a little difficult. Some things maybe a little more technical. You have to understand the steps and the processes. But the good thing about Krav Maga is it doesn't matter. As long as you're doing something to get out of the situation. We focus on 3 real important concepts. 1, eliminate the threat. 2, control the weapon. And 3, counterstrike. We give you foundation elements and techniques on how to do that, but we train everyone. Doesn't matter your age, your gender, your size, your shape, your physical ability. It has to work for everybody. So how somebody who is 6'3" and 220 pounds solid muscle is going to move is going to be a lot different than someone who's 5 foot, 100 pounds soaking wet. But the techniques have to work for everybody. So the attackers are usually going to be bigger and stronger, and you can't rely on size and strength to get out of these. So you take the core techniques that we teach and you apply them to what you're physically able to do and how you move and how you react. And you have equalizers, strikes to the eyes, strikes to the throat, strikes to the groin. Those things can help equalize the situation and make it easier for you to do your defense and escape.
Okay, so the bare minimum, I have a 16-year-old girl walking home late at night, and with, I guess, what is it, the empty-handed techniques that we learned? You want to talk about that?
Sure. There's a variety of different techniques we teach. Empty-handed is probably the most common that people are going to face, usually sucker punch attacks or unknown attacks in the street, whether it's a choke, a grab, wrist pull, a bear hug, somebody just throwing a punch at you or trying to kick you, prior to getting into the whole weapons series of defenses. But you have to learn to react quickly. You can't sit there and panic and freeze and go, oh, what did my teacher say? Where's my little cheat sheet? Step 1, step 2, step 3. You have to practice this and drill it over and over again so it becomes instinctual. The muscle memory kicks in. It becomes part of your DNA so that when something happens, you just immediately click and you know what to do. So if somebody were to put me in a bear hug, I would know. If it's from behind, I don't wait until they squeeze it on like an anaconda and I can't move. It's too late. I have to be able to react quickly and get out of this. Or, if my hands are free, being able to throw some sort of combative really quickly. I can't wait. I don't put myself in the absolute worst case possible position and go, okay, let's see what I can do now. It's reacting quickly, catching your attacker off guard. The reason this stuff works is because the bad guys have a singular focus. I am going to do X. I'm going to do a bear hug and grab somebody and drive them to the ground or lift them up. I'm going to grab their wrist and pull. I'm going to choke them and pull them. I'm going to choke them and push them. They don't walk up to you and go, you know what, I'm gonna grab this guy's shoulders and pull him backwards, and I hope he learns how to knows how to defend himself, because my bad guy school homework is to defend against somebody who is counter defending my original attack. It's not this back and forth. They attack me, they have a singular focus, grab shoulders, pull. If they grab shoulders and pull and I turn around and punch them in the face, that screws up their thought process. That's messing with their computer. They go from grab shoulders and pull to grab shoulders, what the heck, I just got punched in the face. And that gets inside their head, disrupts their thought process, puts me in control of the situation, which is ultimately what I'm trying to do. They are trying to exert control over me. I have to immediately take control back. Once I'm in control of the situation, I can get out of there safely and effectively. If I give up control and I let them exert control over me, I'm going to lose. And we can't lose. The number one thing in Krav Maga is that we have to win every single time. Bad guys, if they lose, okay, they pick the wrong person, they tail between the legs, they go back, they figure out what they did wrong, find somebody easier to attack, they move on. If we lose, we risk getting sent to the hospital or the morgue. So we can't lose ever. We have to win every single time. There's no losing. There's no second place for us. Second place is very dangerous in Krav.
I want to address something real quickly here. I have on here what is a Bluetooth, that it's a metal magnet attached Bluetooth. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because this is something that's very important that I want you to address. I have this on, so if I can ride my bike or if I can run, I'm still cognizant of situational awareness. I can hear if somebody's coming up to me, so I'm always paying attention. So you're saying something about, that's one of the things that they train in Krav, situational awareness.
Situational awareness. So when we talk about whether it's Krav Maga or self-defense in general, there are a couple core elements within the world of self-defense. The number one overarching concept and important thing to understand about self-defense is awareness training. Being mindful of your surroundings. Understand what's going on around you at all times. That means don't take your phone and walk down the street like this and get lost in texts and emails. If you're gonna be doing that, keep your phone up. Look around every once in a while. Glance down, look back up. Be cognizant of what's going on in the world around you. Paint a picture with your eyes. So as I'm scanning, I'm not staring people down. Look at you, you better not move. I'm just walking and I'm looking around, scanning, and if I see something change when I scan back, either a red flagger is gonna go up or go, okay, they're moving away, they're not a threat. But if I'm walking and I look and then all of a sudden somebody's 4 steps closer to me and then I scan back and then they're another 2 steps closer to me and they're moving closer to me, I'm gonna be put on more of a high alert and go into more of a ready mindset that I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy. Maybe he's just walking past me, going across the street, or maybe there's something going on. So I'm not going to be caught off guard. So being aware of what's going on is the most important thing. Not walking around with earbuds, iBuds, whatever, at their loudest. I actually have a pair of headphones that don't go in my ear. That goes around my head and sits right in front of my ear, so I can hear what's going on. If you're out, you're taking a hike somewhere, you're trail running, or you're riding your bike and you have loud music, or you don't know what's going on, you might get hit by a car behind you because you don't see what's going on.
Somebody could be beeping their horn.
Somebody's coming up behind you and attacks you, you don't know it. So you have to be mindful of what's going on, because awareness training leads to the first level of self-defense, which is avoidance. Best defense ever, don't be there. That's all I can say. If somebody's trying to punch you and you move out of the way, you don't get punched. Somebody's trying to kick you, you move out of the way, you don't get kicked. Somebody's walking towards you aggressively, you move out of the way, because you saw it coming, you're not getting attacked. It might be completely innocent. Somebody might just be walking towards you in a hurry, looking down at their phone, and they don't realize that you're in their way, and they bump into you, and all of a sudden it's your fault that they bumped into you. If I see somebody coming towards me, I can just step out of the way, let them walk by. Because I saw it, I avoided a potentially bad situation. I'm walking down the street, I see a group of people that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna get close to them, I'll walk to the other side of the street. or I'll turn around. If I feel like somebody's behind me, your spidey senses go off, your intuition, maybe I'll stop and bend down, tie my shoe, and just kind of glance back, see who's behind me, or stop and use reflective surfaces, mirrors, or maybe I'll take my phone out and put it on the selfie image and just see who's behind me. If it's something that's making me uncomfortable, I can then address that threat by either running faster, get away from it, or turn and face them and figure out what's going on.
When is the next Cobra Kai Krav tournament?
So that's the thing with I guess we fall more on the line of, I guess, eagle claw karate than Cobra Kai. We want to inflict damage, but we don't go until they're there's a little bit of mercy at the very end, because I don't want to take my self-defense into a level of assault. But there's no tournaments. There's no All Valley tournament for Krav Maga. There's no competitions. Krav Maga is strictly self-defense. We focus on what we call the holy trinity of Krav Maga in self-defense: eyes, throat, groin. I'm going to poke you in the eye. I'm going to strike you in the throat. I'm going to knee, kick, elbow, punch you in the groin, and give myself a head start to be able to escape quickly. My finishing move in Krav Maga is to run away. I'm not waiting for somebody to hold my hand up in victory. I'm not waiting to put my foot on top of somebody and declare myself the winner. There are no tournaments. There are no referees. There is no point system. There are no rules. Somebody's going to attack you. They have a singular focus. I'm trying to get something from this person, and nothing's going to stop me. You had to be prepared to do whatever it takes to stop them from getting whatever they're trying to get, whether it's a robbery, carjacking, kidnapping, sexual assault scenario, or if they're trying to kill you. They have a focus. We have to do, as Krav Maga practitioners and self-defense mindset, is to do whatever it takes to not let that happen. So I don't ever want to get in a position where I go, my sensei said I can't do that. That's illegal. I'll get disqualified, lose a point. If I got to jam my thumb in somebody's eye, so be it. If I have to knee them in the groin, so be it. If I got to take my fingers and strike them in the throat, whatever. If I got to take my foot and kick them in the side of the knee, and all the little CLs in there, the ACL, MCL, LCL, all those little things break, and fine, I'll drop a card for an orthopedic friend of mine, and then I'll go on my way.
I think Kirk Franklin said something about he was going to put his foot in his son's ass. Is that something they train in Krav Maga too?
A foot to the ass?
A foot in the ass.
Foot in the ass? Yeah, I will put foot wherever it needs to go. I will do whatever it takes to defend myself, defend my family, protect myself, get from point A to point B safely by whatever means necessary. Obviously, I don't want to cross the line and go from defense until assault. So I'll stop when the threat is no longer a threat. But while they are still an active threat, I'll do whatever it takes.
What if, just out of curiosity, what if a pit bull's coming at you?
Well, it's
That's a threat?
Yeah, that is a threat. And in the curriculum at the higher level, there is defense against animal attacks. And actually, I know someone who got attacked by a pit bull. His father was house sitting a friend's dog or family member's dog or whatever. Broke free from the leash. It came in, at first it clamped on his leg, and he was able to push it away. He had a nice bruise and bite mark on his leg, pushed it away, and the dog came right at his throat the second time. And we have a technique called an L block, where we take my hand and just rotate across. This is great for any kind of linear strike. If I'm here, coming across. Whether it's a punch coming at me, a stab coming at me, a push, a choke, somebody kicking me, any strike to the face. Animal attack. Tighten my fist, rotate across. And what it is, took his forearm right to the side of the dog's head. The dog started, yelping a little bit, and his dad was able to get the collar and the leash back on him and control him and put him in the cage. But if he didn't do this instinctive, deflective motion, the dog might have lunged at his throat. So everything we do becomes instinctive and reactive. Like I said before, it has to happen naturally. I don't want to force a defense. Something's coming at me, swat it away. Just like bugs flying by your head, you swat it away. Well, same thing. It could be a bug, it could be a fist, it could be an animal. Rotating. Rotate your body and push it away.
So let's talk about weapons. If you're at a club and bringing a knife to a gunfight or whatever, what can you really do to protect yourself if this guy's got a gun or got a knife?
So we do a lot with weapons offenses. That's what separates Krav Maga from a lot of traditional martial arts. Traditional martial arts, again, usually hand-to-hand. If they're doing weapons, it's demo and drill team stuff. We are defending against weapons. We're defending against somebody with a stick or an elongated object. It could be a pipe wrench, it could be a hammer, some sort of blunt object that's being, swung at you. I'm not talking about some fancy, crazy Kali guy who knows what he's doing with a stick, all this crazy stuff. I'm talking about a thug on the street who's got a stick who's trying to hit you. If I see somebody coming up and doing all this fancy, stick work, knife work, I'm running. I'm gonna get out of there. I'm not gonna stay and engage because they obviously know what they're doing. They are professional. They are highly trained.
Wait, let me hear that. Did you say you're gonna run?
Run away.
Sometimes running is the best option just to get home and get safety, correct?
Yes. So I mentioned before, the first level of self-defense is avoidance. Well, if I can't avoid it, I want to try and talk my way out of it. If you're somebody's getting in front of in your face, if you can apologize and talk your way out of it, listen, hey, I'm sorry. If I did something wrong to offend you, I apologize. I'm going to go this way, you go that way. Have a nice life. If I can't talk my way out of it and I can't avoid it, I want to run. Get out of there. Escape and evade quickly. The finishing move in Krav Maga from a civilian standpoint is always run away. Again, I don't wait for somebody to declare me a victor. As soon as I have done enough to give myself a head start, I'm out of there. I run, and I get home safe. I always tell people that if you get home, you lock the door, you turn out the lights, you go to bed, it means you win. You get to wake up and play again tomorrow. And that's what self-defense is all about. I need to get home safely. So if I can't run faster than the threat, I need to give myself a head start to make sure I then can run faster than the threat.
And I don't want any jokes about everybody with that little foot race that I ran. That little 12-year-old beat me. I don't want to hear about it, okay? He was fast. Okay.
So in addition to sticks, we have knife. Again, we could be here for a month doing knife stuff. There's, slashes, stabs, ice pick, all different angles. But again, if somebody's coming up and doing all this crazy, fancy knife work stuff, I don't want to engage with somebody like that. I want to get out of there quickly. It's not worth it to try and test my skills against somebody. That's getting into a fight. We're not teaching people to become better fighters. We're teaching people how to get out of bad situations before it escalates to something beyond their control. Because if somebody does challenge me to a fight and I engage, all of a sudden they might pull a knife out. Now they've changed the dynamics. And I'm like, oh, I thought this was going to be a fist fight. And they pull a knife out. Or they pull a gun out and they have a gun. That changes the dynamics too. But again, we have defenses for all this. Depends on the situation. Now, a lot of times when people put a weapon to your face or to your back or to your chest or your throat, whatever, their initial intention is not to kill you. Their initial intention is to scare you into compliance. Give me what I want. Give me X or I will shoot you. I will stab you. Now, there's always a chance that after you give them what they want my keys, here's my keys, leave me alone, they shoot you anyway, just because, that's the mentality that people are in these days. In the old days, it was, take my money, drop to the ground, count to 10, and I'm out of here. Now, it's a lot easier for the bad guys to get what they want and then shoot you versus shoot you and have to rifle through your pockets against a dead body. So you have to be mindful of that. You also have to understand when you get into weapons, it's a little more advanced. Timing's involved. Distance and range is involved. If the gun can touch me, you can defend. If you can touch the gun, you can defend. If you can't touch the gun, you can't defend because any motion that person makes, I can then shoot or back away or do something. You have to be able to catch them off guard by having the ability to reach out and touch the weapon or having the weapon touch you. That's when you can defend. But again, these are more advanced. It takes timing and practice. I always tell people when they come in for a first class, they see a gun for the first time, if they get mugged in the parking lot, just give them their money and then see what happens after. But if you do it wrong, it can be very dangerous. So it takes a while to get through those techniques. It's not something you can learn on day one and be 100% effective.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I mean, hopefully there's not many super spreader events, but some guy's out at the club one of these days and he's getting jumped. How are we dealing? What do you learn about dealing with multiple attackers?
Yeah.
First of all, I would say what I'm learning, when I can extrapolate, what I'm best at is run, get out of there.
Yeah.
But if you can't, what are we going to do with multiple attackers?
Again, avoid the situation as best you can. Sometimes you can't avoid these situations, and sometimes you're going to get multiple attackers. Again, that's the other thing that separates Krav Maga from traditional martial arts. Traditional martial arts, one-on-one, usually with a referee. We have a focus on dealing with multiple attackers. Multiple attackers can be very dangerous. You're on the street and you get surrounded by 2, 3, 5 people. The problem on the street is nobody else is really going to come help you out for the most part, especially if you're getting jumped by multiple people. They don't want to get involved. There's what we call the bystander effect. People are just going to stand by and watch and probably take their phones out and film what's going on because they think somebody else is going to be calling 911, calling for help. Meanwhile, 15 people are filming, thinking that the guy next to them is calling for help, and nobody comes to help you out. So I can't rely on other people to help me out. I have to rely on my training, my skills, and my abilities to protect myself. When we deal with multiple attackers, the number one thing we have to do is make sure we are not in the middle. The middle is very dangerous. I'll give you two analogies. One, see, some people like some versus the other. Football, the quarterback's in the pocket. Once the pocket collapses, he gets sacked. He's at risk of getting sacked. He needs his defenses out there. So once the pocket collapses, he's stuck in the middle. He's going to get squished on both sides, right? That's what's going to happen to me if I don't have any defensive protection and I'm getting people coming from all sides. The other analogy that people either like or make fun of me for is I call it the Oreo cookie defense. When we're defending, we want to be the cookie, not the cream. The cream is in the middle getting squished. We have to be on the outside. So as I am defending myself against multiple attackers, I can't turn and defend against this guy and then turn to defend against this guy. Do Jackie Chan jump kicks and split kicks and kick them both at the same time. I have to be able to angle myself, break the angles, get to the outside, move, constantly be moving my footwork, keeping one person in front of me at all times. If I have line of sight of all the attackers, then I'm in a better position to protect myself. I actually have a student who 5 years ago or so got jumped in Philadelphia by 5 punk teenage kids with nothing better to do on a Saturday. And there were 5 of them, so he wasn't able to keep them exactly in a line, but he moved himself so nobody could get behind him. He had 5 people kind of horseshoed in front of him. They were coming in 1, 2 at a time, and he was defending 1, 2 at a time, punches, kicks, keeping them at bay. He lasted about 4 minutes until security came and helped him out, which is an eternity in a street fight. 30 seconds is a long time in a street fight. And he lasted 4 minutes, and in 4 minutes only took 1 punch when somebody got a little too close to him. But he was able to keep them away and not let anybody get behind him. Had somebody been able to get behind him, then he'd been in a lot of trouble. You have to have line of sight and vision of everybody who is trying to hurt you. If you can't defend what you can't see. So if I make a mistake and turn and somebody gets behind me, I can't see what this guy's doing. He could attack, he could choke me, he could grab me, push me from behind, grab my head, do some bad things. So I had to be mindful of that.
One question that I don't know if I asked, is it ever too early to start Krav? Is there an age?
No, I feel I started late. I started when I was 36, and I wish I would have started younger. We have kids as young as 7 that come in here train from my kids' class, and after a while, if they're still with it, they'll graduate up to the adult class. We've got teens that start at age 13 in the adult class and train. It's never too late to never too early to start. It's never too late to start. I've got guys that have started here in their 60s and 70s. And have trained, and they never thought they needed it. Now this crazy times we live in, they want to feel safe and secure, so they come in now. They wish they would have done it 20, 30 years ago.
So I guess what you're saying is, if you can walk and talk, you can Krav.
We've actually taught people in wheelchairs, so you don't even need to be able to walk.
Oh man, I thought I was giving you guys a tagline. I was gonna sell that to you.
No.
People in wheelchairs can do Krav?
People in wheelchairs can do Krav. As long as you can move obviously, if you're paralyzed from your neck down, you're gonna be limited in what you can do. But if I have mobility in my hands and somebody's in front of me and somebody throws a punch, I can deflect it. Somebody puts a gun in my face, I can do a defense, even from a seated position. We do defenses, not just for people in wheelchairs, but if you're sitting down, you're in a chair somewhere, you're at a park bench, you're in a bus or a train or an airplane and somebody attacks you and you're seated and you can't get up immediately, how do you defend yourself? So we have that's all built in the curriculum. Basically, if there is a threat, we have a defense for it. And if we don't have a fence, we'll figure it out. Sometimes you need to change the situation to make it work. Not every situation is going to work exactly as you planned. Again, size and strength. You have to have some equalizers. So the same defense that the big 6 foot plus 200 plus guys that come in here do, they're going to move a lot differently than the 5 foot 100 pound people that come in here. But there are equalizers and there's ways to move and ways to adjust things so that it works for everybody.
Gotcha. So as we wrap this up, what do you want someone's takeaway? I mean, obviously there's a lot of information here, but what is the overall Krav experience that they're going to get coming in and doing one of the classes? And then we'll talk about they can get one of the class, the first class for free. I guess.
Yeah. Well, first of all, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of coming in here. I have a lot of people that say, I'm very intimidated coming in here. I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. And they walk in their first class, they realize, oh, that was nothing. Number one rule in here is try not to get injured. You might get bumps and bruises. Accidents happen, but for the most part, we have a pretty good safety record in terms of major injuries. Bumps and bruises, and a few things tweaked, but that comes with the territory, and you learn to condition your body. But don't be afraid. There's people who tell me they've driven to the parking lot 2 or 3 times before they actually get out of the car. And I don't know why. It's, I've got other people that come in here, they're like, let's go, bring it on, I'm ready to go. And it really depends on the person, but don't be afraid. And number 2, I have people that'll call me up and say, listen, I want to go to the gym for 6 months and then I'll feel better coming in. Well, if you go to the gym and you get yourself in peak physical condition, you will need this less than you do now, because you're in better shape, you're going to be less likely to be targeted. If you're out of shape, you're slower, you're older, all these different things that the bad guys look for in terms of victimology, you need it now. Everybody needs it now. Don't wait. The last thing that really frustrates me, and I'll train anybody. People come in and say, hey, my friend was attacked last week, or I was attacked last week, and they come in and can you help protect me? Yeah, sure, come on in. I'll absolutely teach you what to do. We'll review the scenarios that you went through, and we'll figure out what you could have done. But what you could have done, as opposed to what you can do if something like this were to happen. I want people to be proactive, not reactive. Come in here and prepare, and then hopefully you won't need it on the street, as opposed to wishing you had it and then not having it. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's key, because then you don't know what to do, and then that's when you're going to get injured or hurt. And then you call me up, and then you're protected, but that situation might not happen again. I'd rather you be prepared for any situation, and then use it when you need it. A lot of people ask me what I do for a living. Sometimes I tell them I'm an insurance salesman. I'm selling you a policy that I hope you never have to cash in, but if you do, it's there.
Okay, so they can come in, try out.
Yep, we have 20 plus classes a week here in Cherry Hill. We've got 7 a.m. classes, midday classes at noon, Sunday mornings, and then Monday through Thursday evenings. And first class is always free. Come on in, try it out, see if you like it. If you do, we can go from there.
I assume since this is kind of like the Cadillac of martial arts, or the Cadillac of fighting, it's going to be what, $1,000 a class?
Yeah, I wish I could charge $1,000 class. We only have like 2 students. Now it's pretty affordable. The base membership is $159 a month for unlimited training. Come as much as you want. Again, we have over 20 classes a week. For people whose time and budget are limited, we have a 1-day a week option at $119 a month, and then we also have discounts if you're a high school or college student. We make it work for everybody.
And the other thing is that in class today, I did notice, last time I was here, we were outside, we're inside today, and when I started before COVID, so the COVID situation is?
Yeah, the COVID situation sucks, I'll be honest with you. So we are making it work. Unfortunately, about a year ago, we had to shut down for 3 months. Then we opened up outside. Fortunately, it was summertime. We opened up outside in the parking lot under the restrictions that the state had on us. We had sidewalk chalk marking X's off 8 feet apart, and everything was non-contact. Then we were slowly allowed to introduce more contact drills and get a little more comfortable. And then in the early fall, we were allowed to start doing some classes inside, so we had a mix of indoor classes, outdoor classes. Right now, I would say, from December until now, we've been exclusively indoors. Masks are required, unfortunately, inside. We have to wear masks to maintain safety protocols. We wipe down all the equipment after class, a lot of hand sanitizer stations. When the weather starts to warm up in like the next week or 2, I'm hoping that as long as it's not raining out and it's a little warmer, we can go back outside and do some of the classes outside. There's a benefit to doing classes indoors. We have all the equipment here and the floor, and we can do some groundwork stuff. There's also a benefit to being outdoors. Some people really like the outside classes. Some people don't, but some people do, because you're changing the terrain. You're inside. We train in sneakers on hard rubber floor mats. We don't train barefoot in a soft squishy mat. So it simulates being outdoors. When we're outdoors, we're actually outdoors. So we're on the concrete, we're on the asphalt, we're on the grass, changing things up a little bit. There's some slopes and undulation to the parking lot here. So sometimes you're uphill, sometimes you're downhill. It changes the dynamics a little bit. When the sun's out, you different variables with the temperatures. So when it gets, sometimes at night when we have lights, we light up the parking lot, but it's darker out, so your vision is a little compromised. So it puts a little more realistic atmosphere into the training. Obviously, indoors is more fun. We have more equipment and temperature control than the lights, but there's definitely a upside to doing some classes outside as well.
Okay, last thing we want to say is for everybody that comes to, we're doing a promotion for Between 2Perms. First prize is going to be a raffle. All you have to do is like, subscribe, comment, or share, or then you get one raffle ticket. First place $100, second place $75, third place $50, fourth place $25. But wait, there's more. Aha! If you come into Israeli Krav Maga, you get 10 tickets. So you increase your chances of winning exponentially. Come out, tell them DJ Lowell sent you, get a class, train, protect yourself, get home safe with your family. I guess what we learned today is if you can walk, talk, crawl, or roll, you can do Krav.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Learn how to protect yourself. That's the number one thing. Stay safe.
Live, love, learn, and laugh.